Hello.
How are you? I'm Pat Miller, the Gabb, and this week, yeah, the sun is shining. I have to look
Maybe
out.
next week it's more snow.
Ugh, please no.
Well,
I'm done with snow and feeling that way. And I'm supposed to introduce you as Olav Peterson, but who are you?
I'm Olav Peterson. I'm one of the owners of Bittersweet. So the other owner is my lovely wife, Melissa Severson. So she's pretty much most of the business, and then of course our staff. I mean, our staff is the whole reason why we're here.
And amazingly, bittersweet is what I call my idea of a perfect. Well, it's upscale, but it's casual because you can go anytime.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but we in 10 years after being open for 10 years, we know people come here to celebrate, and that's generally every table that's coming in every night. There's a birthday or there's an anniversary or something that's going on,
They
and
come to celebrate going out.
yeah, and we really look forward to taking care of people, and we really look forward and giving that experience is the best way to say it. So
Right. And you do a fabulous job. And throughout everything, I mean, you just make it such a special thing to come and visit.
yeah,
And
and
go ahead.
well, a lot of that's just our staff, right? So I guess the best example I can give is if you don't like being hospitable, then you shouldn't be in the hospitality industry, right? So if you're not good at being nice to people, then you shouldn't be in this industry. And that's kind of the mantra that we have with everybody. And that's not just, I mean, it goes for every member of our staff, whether we have someone who's our pastry chef or our chef or server, back of the house waiter, whatever they might be, or bartender. We all have that same mentality of like, that's what we're here to do. We're here to make sure that people are having a great day.
And you've done very well, as I recall, keeping most of your staff throughout this.
Yeah, we like thankfully, I sometimes joke that we're letting the inmates run the asylum, but to a certain extent, that is how the culture of it here, and I think that's what allows people to stay longer. They really do feel that this is a part of them, and it's an extension of them as well. Just as that's an extension of myself and my wife. They care about it. They want it to do well. They want to be successful here as well.
Well, when you walk in there, or when I walk in there, one knows that you're welcome and somebody cares about you. And I think that helps.
Yeah, and I mean, also, I think when you leave, it's that we're happy that you chose us. I mean, it's
Oh,
tough,
I'll be happy to choose you.
right? And as hard as it's been on a lot of restaurants right now, you still have dining options. It's not. I mean, restaurant across the street from me is still open. The restaurant down the street from me is still open. And when people choose to come to us, it's a big deal, and we really do think about that. And
Okay, well, let's not talk about the gruesome past year. Let's talk about what's happening at Bittersweet at 500 East Alameda, Alameda and Penn. What is happening now?
spring is on its way. I mean, and that's the big thing that we're looking forward to right now is there's been a lot of preparation, getting the garden beds ready to go and getting ready to plant here coming up pretty soon. So we'll have a big focus on planting hardier greens such as like Swiss chard, Tuscan kale. We're going to plant a lot of squashes this year. We're not going to plant, I don't think we're going to plant any tomatoes, however. I mean, with all the years of planting tomatoes and the struggles that we've had with them, we're just going to kind of really focus on things that do high yielding for us. We ran some tests last year with beans and peas, which did really well, actually, even all the way through the summer, even in the hottest summer, because of the shade we have in certain areas. So we're building bean poles coming up soon. So those are some of the things. And then, of course, we'll be growing quite a few herbs and dedicating a lot of that. So that's what we're working on, basically, to introduce new things to the menu. But as far as the menu goes, we have introduced a couple new items, duck pot pie.
Wait, so you're open as you used to be 5 nights a week?
Yes. So we are normal hours, 5 nights a week, dinner service starting at 5. We do Tuesday through Saturday. We're at 500 East Alameda, right on the corner of Alameda and Pennsylvania. We do have a small parking lot, and we still have quite a lot of less seating than we had before all this started, which we're keeping. We've actually really liked the idea of how our new layout has been and having less tables in the restaurant. And it's kind of goes back to giving people that experience of dining that they really want to have. And that's what we're here for, is for everybody to truly dine and enjoy the art of dining and drinking wine and having tasting menus. And so that's something that, as changes in spring comes, we're sticking with some of these ideas that we've had that have really been very good for us as a restaurant.
I love the new layout, and then you have gorgeous patios as well.
And even though, and even patio seating, we've spaced out more and all the way around. I think it's just been a great thing for the restaurant, for us just to learn and see it in a different light. It's been refreshing.
And if somebody is coming very soon and wants to be outdoors, you do still have heaters.
We do. We do have heaters out there. The one thing I always preface to people: there's no way for us to keep your food super hot. So if you're sitting outside and you want hot food, eat fast because it cools down really fast.
Well, that's true at home with bad food. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. And so and that was kind of, as we experimented with to go, that was kind of the struggle out of to go, was different kinds of containers and how do we keep that same integrity to the food.
You can't.
And that was our big struggle, is that we just really felt we couldn't hit the mark of that. All the different ways we tried doing different things. And
well, the couple of times I got your meals, they were incredible. But there is no way that a restaurant that does what you do can have it come to your house the same way. First of all, even if you couldn't, I can't plate it to look like. I had a beet salad. I don't know whether it's still on there.
Yes, the beet salad is still on.
I mean, I'm not crazy about beets, but oh my God, I love the whole thing. I've never seen anything that pretty, and it tasted just as good.
Right, and that's we really do celebrate the art of food and wine here. That's the whole reason why I opened the restaurant, was to really go after that idea. And it's not just based off of my ideas; it's based off of everybody's ideas. And we have to, it's a whole collaboration. And in fact, right now, Jason. This is his menu right now. He's, I help very little.
I'm very upset, actually, that you took that chicken away. So if I made a reservation and you knew I was coming.
Yeah, so we have a new duck pot pie dish that is on the menu. That's confit leg, seared breast, done with spring vegetables, and biscuits. That the biscuits are kind of the vessel to hold all the pot pie gravy, basically. And so it's turned out really well, and we really love it. But the chicken that we had on the previous menu was, it was great.
Well, my friend and I were very upset that it was going away.
So it's it's something that we, but I think there's so many items that we've had on the menu over the past 10 years that
True. But it's hard as a chef and a restaurant owner. As a customer, it's hard to get excited over chicken in a restaurant.
True. But, and I think that's, and I guess that kind of leads into why we have a smaller menu. You can't have, if you have a menu that has 27 items, not all 27 can be great. It's just not
true.
Possible.
I agree.
And I worked in restaurants like that where I had so many items on a menu, and there was certain things I just didn't love on my menu, but I had to have them. And we really don't do that here. Like, if it's not great, we don't put it on the menu. We don't.
No, you don't. And your wines are awesome.
Same thing. And our wine list is the exact same way. And we want good quality stuff. That's really what it comes down to. We're just not in this for the cheap thrills, as they say.
Okay, now I know you do a tasting menu, but you can have everything a la carte as well.
Yes, and our tasting menu is different in the sense that the whole table doesn't have to contribute. So
Thank God. Yeah.
And if two people come in and aren't that super hungry, they can share the tasting menu together. And if one person wants to do a tasting menu and one person wants to do 2 courses and nothing else, then that's possible too. We are not in the business of saying no. So right. We're in the business of, please come in and have a good time, and we will work with you on however you guys want to dine. But we do recommend to everybody to do the tasting menu. It's what the purpose of pairing food and wine and and having guys like Adam who can really help you with your wine selections and stuff like that. That's what we're here to do. And even having Amanda, she's great with all of our cocktail pairings, or if you're looking for something like that, that you want something new. So it's just, it's the best way to say it is that we're just here to really make that work for you. I always hated it when I went to a restaurant with my wife where she didn't want the tasting menu, but I do. And it's like, no, she has to have it. And it's like, why? It doesn't matter.
I've never
understood. For a long time, and we can do it just fine that way.
And if I'm the one that doesn't want it, I know I'm going to be waiting for a course. I don't care. I just don't eat that much food or something, and this is what you want. Right. And if Melissa wants 2 and you want 4, it's fine. Okay, tell us about some of the new items or the menu now.
Yeah, so right now we just introduced a couple of new items. Potato leek soup is one of those. Obviously, not necessarily so much in the traditional sense, but we're doing a potato hash brown with a little chive creme, crispy fried leeks. And then the soup is served in a teapot that we pour table side, and then you have a little bit extra just in case you want some more. But it's kind of those textures of potato, done with a little bit of the sourness of that chive creme. But is still soup, you know what I mean? To it, at the end of the day, it's kind of our soup dish on the menu right now. And then we just recently talked about duck pot pie. The pastry menu also is, I think, is everything. Always been.
Do you have that
we had on the menu, which we still have on the menu right now?
The chocolate thing?
Yeah.
Oh so my God. Never.
And as it just says on the menu, it's chocolate and it is textures and different textures.
Never have I. The only dessert that ever came close was your Garden of Eden.
Right. And those are and that's also, we have strawberry shortcake that's done also very untraditionally. But Brian, our pastry chef, I mean, also is like, there's dedication to from start to finish. And I think that's, I genuinely can say that's what it's always been here is.
And you bake your own bread.
Yeah, there's nothing we don't make. I mean, if we can't make it, we don't use it. So like
you wouldn't want to come to my house.
Right. Yeah, I mean that has always been. And in the bread, we have a 10-year-old starter now. I mean, the starter that we started when we opened the restaurant, that's still the same starter we're using today. And our bread's good. I mean,
and so's the butter.
Yeah, and our flavored butters and everything else, but the bread's really good.
Well, yeah, but people should know those little touches, like a change in the butter all the time and how good the bread is. And I don't know what your other appetizers are now. You always have a pasta.
We do. Right now we're working actually on a spring pasta coming up. We're doing a pea ravioli. So that's not quite on the menu yet with a little bit of Parmesan broth, but that's something that's in the works coming up soon. And Jason's just kind of tweaking the last few things on that, but that's going to be coming on the menu, I would guess, within the next couple of weeks. But right now we don't have, he just did introduce kind of a wild boar meat on a stick, which is awesome. So it's ground wild boar done with in a kind of basically like a soy style, but he's not using any soy sauce. And I've never done this before, but he's using coconut amino. And coconut amino mimics soy. And part of why he's doing this was for my son Brody, who has a soy allergy. He can't really have soy sauce. So he experimented with this idea and it turned out great. And so you definitely have this.
I've never heard of that, but okay.
Yeah, you definitely have this kind of soy sauce umami flavor going on with it, mixed with the wild boar. And it's really, I mean, it is basically like a kefka, and it is done on a stick, and they're great. He's doing tempered pineapple with it, which is another kind of
my God,
like a wacky thing that's out there.
Oh no, it would be great with that.
Yeah, and it's really like, he's doing a little bit of butter less with it, and the thing is, it's really good, and it's so fun and playful because when I first tried it, was like, oh, it's great, it's got soy, and he's like, no, there's no soy sauce in it, and it's all from this coconut, but it's really cool. And those are the things that, I mean, I guess those are those proud parent moments that you look at your staff and you sit there and look at how they're doing things now and how, you give them a ball and they're running with it. And I don't think I could wish for anything better than being a restaurant owner. So
well, I think you're a great chef too, but I've asked for years. I don't know how Bittersweet seems to have more things that you don't quite understand, but they're fabulous when you get them. How you dream up these things. They don't ever look like anything I saw someplace.
Right. I don't, that je ne sais quoi, I think is the best way to kind of describe it. And as much as, I think that there's the ego in me that could sit there and say, well, I created that and I did all this, but it just happened with the free form thinking of the restaurant. And it's so much, because and it really comes down to is that where you work in so many different places, right? And you pluck different experiences, which creates you down the road. And working with different restaurant owners and different people, and I learned different things from each one of them. But there were also things that I felt put handcuffs on every member of the staff. And when you remove those handcuffs and you do have to force people to be creative, because as much as people are like, oh, I've always wanted the job where I could be in charge of everything. Once you give that to someone, it's scary. Yeah. And then you realize, whoa, this is okay. So I'm in charge.
Well, it's a big burden to know that you're the one that's got to do this.
And it takes a little while for them, to fly out of the nest. But once they fly, they really do experience that. And that je ne sais quoi that comes with these kind of crazy, wacky, weird ideas that we come up with, we kind of have this policy of, yes, let's try it. Sometimes they're awful.
I'm sure.
And there's things that we try, but it's just like, nope, that's not going to work. But there are other ways that we've really kind of come up with some very inspirational things. And, and I guess that really comes down to answering that question of, those ideas come from just the environment of the restaurant. And it's just the je ne sais quoi bittersweet. That's really what it comes down to. And every member is a part of that.
Well, you all are fabulous. You're wonderful. The staff is great. The wines, the cocktails, the food. Do you have anything? Tell us what's coming up for spring and summer so we're all ready to go.
Spring and summer, I'm very excited about the variety of heirloom squashes we're going to be planting, really in summer squashes and baby squashes and squash blossoms, and how we're going to be utilizing all that. Those are things I think in the menu that are what we're very excited about. I think we have such a great garden plan, and having the consistency and staff that we've had year after year, we'll be probably utilizing a lot more of our garden for the menu items this year than we ever have in any other year previously.
Which is great.
Yeah, and the thing is that's what's so exciting is that, it's one of the funniest things I think has always happened is, a lot of times we cut our vegetables before service, but we get towards the end of the night, we need some more chard or we need whatever it might be. We go out there and grab it. And people always say, wow, you really use that. We've always been like, well.
So why are you growing it if you're not going to use it?
Exactly. It's not decorative. And that's one of the things I think that, that has always been, and that's what we look forward to coming up in the spring and the summer. But it's also, man, I just can't wait to start tasting some rosés again.
I'm there now. Now, I graduated back to rosé a few weeks ago, and I can't look at anything else.
Right. It is it's like, and especially with as warm as it was last week, I know we got a little bit of a cooler week coming up. That's what, those spring wines and just.
There's nothing as good as
vegetables that are going to start coming in, and all the, a lot of the green vegetables that we're getting in. Those are the things that we're really looking forward to. And then we're actually going to plant a pretty heavy strawberry patch in the restaurant this year.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, that's going to be something that, because strawberries do about 3 years, but they'll come back every year for about 3 years, and they'll only produce fruit for about 3 years. So the first year we won't get as much. Next year we'll get a ton, and then the third year get an absolute, truckload of strawberries. But yeah, they're the long-term plans. But we already have rhubarb coming up in the garden. We have chives coming up in the garden. We have all these things that are already.
Do you have rosé on the shelf?
I don't. I have a sparkling rosé out of the Loire. That's the only thing I have right now. Everybody's trying to unload their old rosé right now, and we'll start seeing their new stuff coming in. It's just the way distributors work. So.
Okay, it's very interesting because no names. I had rosé in 2 restaurants the last couple of times. Mm-hmm. They were awful.
It's because they get old.
I wasn't sure, and I didn't ask I wasn't buying because it was $4. I mean, I was buying what I thought was good. They were terrible. Last night, I finally had a decent glass of rosé, and I said, "You're not going to believe this, but the rosés I have at home that I've had are much better."
Right. So. It does. I mean, rosé is really meant to be bottled and drank immediately. Like it is not something that you want to like hang on to. But however, there are ageable rosés. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Okay, but fine, or what I need to know when you figure it out, a good rosé, because you half the time you just order something and it's bad.
Sure. It really depends on style, but I think you gotta trust your wine shop.
You know my style. So I mean,
and I will make sure we have that in coming up soon. But yeah,
better, because everyone I know says we're going, and I say, do we have to?
Right. But, well, there's a freshness to rosé that you have to have, and that's only, and especially in like some of the lighter style French ones, the minerality and the freshness will fade away, and then they just taste a bit sour.
Okay, I have an idea.
Sure.
Some slow night, we can pay. We should have a rosé tasting.
Oh yeah.
For some of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about 80 people.
Right.
I'm talking about 6-8 people.
Yeah.
And have a tasting to see the difference and find out what's really good.
Well, I think that'd be a great idea, just to do like we've done it before in the past. We've done a few different rosé dinners.
Then you tell me when we're having one, because I will
have to get with Jason and Adam, because Adam is, really, he's kind of taking full reins on the wine program, and then Jason, our chef, we got to get him involved in that too. But I will get in contact with
because although
dinner coming up soon,
Gabby Gourmet dinners are not back.
Right.
But a small Gabby Gourmet dinner.
Oh yeah.
With a rosé tasting would be incredible.
We could probably do 8 people or so, something like that, and just a little small, coming up soon.
I'll have 25 who want to come, and we'll do it for whatever.
Right. I think that's a great idea, and we can plan it maybe a little bit here, maybe. Well, and the good thing would be is that once we get into May,
that's perfect.
That far away, in about a month, I think that'd be a perfect time to do it, because we'll have the doors open, and if it rains a little bit, you guys will still be inside, but we'll be able to have it, nice little spring rosé dinner.
Somebody told me you don't wilt if it rains.
That is true. That is true. But you still get wet.
Gee, I've never gotten wet in my life. But you got to make me a promise and be in touch on that one.
I will.
Because I think people would adore it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that it's something that we will really look forward to.
And it will make us all feel like some degree of normalcy is there.
Well, and it's returning fast.
But we could do dinners for a few people, but it has to be at a place like you where everybody is safe.
Right.
Is great. A rosé thing is certainly special.
Right. Well, even the great thing is that one of my staff members is getting their first shot today. I'm getting my second shot next week. 2 of my guys who already work in the kitchen have already had their second shots. So we're, as a staff, because we're so small, we're well on our way to being completely vaccinated. And
I'm shot, so it's fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that right now the world's really starting to take that turn.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty shot now. Well, we have a date. Yes. Aside from the fact that we're coming all the time. Hours of Bittersweet, again, phone number, address, all that good stuff.
Dinner service Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 500 East Alameda, 303-942-0320 for reservations. Also bittersweetdenver.com for reservations.
And please don't look at the website until this afternoon.
This afternoon, we'll have everything up and fixed. And definitely
Mother Miller was yelling.
So, But yeah, and that's pretty much it. Dinner service Tuesday through Saturday. We don't do brunch or anything on Sundays. That's our family day. So
Well, we adore your family. We adore you and Bittersweet, and love you.
all
Have
right.
a
Well,
great
thank
week.
you so
And
much.
I am really excited. So, everybody, keep listening. I will have it up on Facebook and every place else that we will have a dinner. And 8 places are going to go really fast, but that's okay. All
Yeah,
right.
we'll start that. You know, maybe we'll do one in May, one in June, and maybe one in July or something. We'll just kind of do it in
I'm
twos.
here.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I think, you know, maybe we'll do some on the patio. We'll do some inside.
Oh,
It'll be a
I'd
lot of
love to do that.
yeah.
Okay.
Do some
It's a
dinner
date.
under the lights. So
You got it.
all right.
Much love.
So
Have a
much.
great
Look
week.
forward to seeing you.
And to all of you, have a great week too. I hope you enjoyed this. Get over to Bittersweet. It is awesome. And we'll see you all soon. Much love.
Yeah.
Bye.